season, the podcast from evermickle.com, where each week we talk about stocks, finance, money, investing, really anything in the business world that we find interesting. I'm your host, Randy Rowe. On Twitter, I'm at RTRowe. And as you can hear, there's no Danai this week. Now, there's no Danai this week because I actually wasn't even sure if we're going to be able to get you an episode this week. So I had actually planned to just allow last week's episode, the one with the top striker Shan. Listen, if you have not listened to that episode yet, go and listen to that episode. That's somebody talking quite plainly about the kind of gains that they've made in a down market. Big up Shan again for that. Top striker Shan. If you haven't heard it, go and listen to it. If you have heard it, however, you might enjoy this episode if you haven't heard any of it before. And why I say if you haven't heard any of this episode before is because this episode is something that quite a few of you participated in. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Dana and I had a Zoom call that we held, and we sent out invites for anybody who was interested to just sign up, come in on the Zoom call, and you could be a part of that episode. Thank you to everybody who participated. The episode went really, really well. And just to thank the people for it, I said I'd stick around after the episode was done in the Zoom call and just answer some questions that people had. So what you're about to hear is a good segment of that Q&A session. Now, it starts out in the middle of a question, but once you listen, it'll be pretty clear to you. You know, you'll get it from context. Big up to the people who stuck around for it. It was pretty late, and you'll hear the tiredness in my voice. You'll hear me mention the fact that it's after 2 or, a little after 3 or minutes to 3 in the morning. But I am impressed by the fact that so many people still stuck around and asked questions, and other people are stuck around and listen for the answers to those questions and maybe what they could hear. I really hope that it helped those people, and I hope that listening to it might help you if you're interested. Now, I mentioned the tiredness and the time because in addition to hearing it in my voice, you'll also notice that, I don't know if anybody else gets like this, but sometimes when I'm tired, I get testy, I get a little cagey. And in this situation where I'm always ultra careful, especially when I'm doing anything with the public, you hear the carefulness coming out in a couple of my answers. Especially I think one with a gentleman, I'm trying to remember his name. His name was Jordan. Jordan, if you're hearing this, send me an email. I feel like I never gave you the justice that you deserved, because you were pretty brave to come and ask a question, and I really should have tried to allow you to get it out. I'm listening to it and I didn't really like it. I answered the question, but I can understand you being a little nervous. Sometimes I forget that when I do things like this, the people who participate are a lot more nervous than I might realize. So Jordan, if you're hearing this, link me. Email is randy@evermickle.com. Just send me an email. I think I will send you either a huge grow discount or a ticket to grow. But yeah, we had this episode and I just thought it was something that you guys should really hear. The carefulness, as I say, comes out, and the policing, including the policing of the call and the self-policing, and you'll realize why. It's me trying not to have anybody ask me any overt investment advice or investment questions, and I definitely don't want to cross that line and give it to them, right? But it was such a good lesson for me to be in that situation, because the lesson there is that sometimes when you over police people, you lose any benefits that you might get. And that might be a good message to the government. Not that I think the government is doing a bad job, but I couldn't help but drop that one since we're all under curfew. Having said that, however, I really hope that you listen and enjoy this episode. There is a section in it that, you can hear the joy, not just from me, but from like everybody else who was on the call, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's really, really good. And yeah, I think I've said enough. I don't want to say too many more things. I will say one last thing, however. A couple of episodes we have mentioned that there's an Evermickle stock calendar, and a lot of people have DM'd me asking, where's the stock calendar? Where's the stock calendar? Which is, funny, because every episode that we mention it in, just like this episode, we also say, check the show notes for the link to the stock calendar, But as you know, people hear it, they message same time, nobody goes and checks the link. And so I have to turn around and go and dig it up and give them. Or a lot of times I'm not in a place or a time where I can do that. Anyway, all of this rambling is to say that to try and help that, if you're hearing this, if you care about the Every Mickle stock calendar, if you want to ensure that you get some of the information that is on the calendar, and what's on the calendar is the dates that results are going to come out, the dates for AGMs, anything around the stock world that's interesting. Simon is having Stocks on the Rocks. That's at Guru in Training _ on Twitter. He's having Stocks on the Rocks, and I put events like that into the calendar. Try to put, like, when I have my grow events to the calendar so people can know ahead of time. There's a lot of stuff. If it's useful for you, if you think it's something that you could benefit from, feel free to go and get it. Now, I always tell people that the links are in the show notes, and the links to the calendar, this calendar, should be in the show notes. But obviously, as I said, a lot of people listen and they still ask me, or they say it's not working. So here are the two important things about it. One, I have put a link to this stock calendar, and it's a Google Calendar. So if you use Google Calendar on your phone, or if you have Google Calendar on your phone or your computer, you will be able to look in your calendar, see your regular stuff that you have scheduled, but you'll also see the stock stuff, and it'll be color coded and everything, so you'll know what they are. So the first point is, I have made the calendar as freely available as I can by putting a link to it on my website. So that link, and I'm going to read it out here since not everybody checks the show notes. That link is www.everymickle, that's EveryMickle, everymickle.com/TEST, as in test, cal, CAL, as in cal. So that's everymickle.com/testcal. And the testcal is all one word. Obviously, it's for test calendar. I almost said test calculator. So it's everymickle.com/testcal. Go there from a computer, go there from a laptop, go there from maybe your iPad. Not that you can't go there from your mobile phone, but Google doesn't allow you to add a new calendar from your mobile. You have to go there from a computer, you'll see it, and then you'll get the option, you click it, and you'll see links there to click to add that calendar to your Google Calendar. Go there from a computer, that's the way it works. After that, it will work from your phone, but the very first time you're adding a calendar, you have to go to it from your computer. Can't stress it enough. That, which was the second thing. The second point is that you need to go there from a computer. No, I have definitely spoken enough. You guys have heard more than enough, and I do not want another long episode. This one is nice and short, but hopefully nice and useful. I've given it enough preamble, so I'll just let you go straight into it. You'll hear me start in the middle of a conversation, a middle of a question, but with context clues, it's pretty clear what's happening, and then after that, it just rolls. You'll just understand everything that's happening there. If you don't, feel free to send a message, some feedback to us, and I hope you enjoy it. All right? So this is earnings season again. This is Randy Rowe again, and I want you guys to listen to this episode. Enjoy, leave the feedback, and yeah, see you in a bit.
Earnings season. And I don't mean because I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not. That's not why. It's because I can help you feel more. If I give you the confidence, then it's really my confidence I lend in you, right? And if things switch, it's not that, okay, this was off, or I need to adapt to the situation, is Randy say. I can't do what the Randy said. So I can't tell you why you should have confidence in Mailpack, but I can tell you that you should probably have a method of investing that is comprehensive and a strategy that allows you to constantly stop and assess where you were or where you are and where you want to go. You bought Mailpack. Why did you buy it in the first place?
Because of the growth prospects.
What did you want from it?
I was looking at it more of a, well, my long term would have been, 5 years at least. So
in 5 years?
Yeah.
And what did you want from it in 5 years? What did you want from it in 5 years?
Exponential growth, at least 300 plus %.
So you wanted 300% from Mailpack?
In the very least, which I want actually more, but in the very least 300 plus plus percent.
Sorry, you wanted 300 plus percent from Mailpack in the very least. And your time is 5 years.
Yeah.
And you're not alone. I know a whole heap of people who have that very same sort of goal in mind and timeline in mind. Actually, the 5-year timeline is very, very popular. What I'm doing right now is I'm looking just to...
That's from an IPO first.
Yeah, you bought it from
I,
IPO, yes?
I bought from IPO, I bought more at 190, I bought some more just now at 135.
All right, that's
Plus,
cool. No, man, I'm not
it's
knocking you. I
actually-
just wanted to get a good little idea of where you were. No, you wanted
Yeah.
300% at least. Mailpack has given you the opportunity to get 160% or 260%. I went as high as 2.6.
Yes.
All right, so the second point I'm going to raise now, you said that they're not competing. You said that you're kind of wavering in it because of the competition that's happening now and a lot of people coming up. You quoted Quick Cart, the launch from my girl there from the
Yeah.
delivery service, or she's doing something nice. I rate that. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
2 points here, 2 major points. One is this. Did you expect them to not have any competition?
No, no, definitely not. I expected more competition. I think my major problem is that their response to the competition or their response to the situation haven't taken advantage of the situation is what I'm getting at.
All right, so I'm gonna come to that one. There's so much in that, but I'm gonna give you another one. It touches original point of yours. 5 years, 300% growth. Why are you asking me about the stock 4 months later?
Because I think what they do know, I think not just them, a lot of companies, but specifically them, what they do know compared to what certain players in the market are doing now can really affect how the general public view them versus the competition for years to come. So if somebody's first impression in getting a delivery service from any supermarket is Quick Cart and they love it, for just using Quick Cart as an example, and they love it because that was the first one that popped up as an option to them. And Quick Cart might be that option that they use for the next year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years versus a Mailpack who they've been with PriceSmart for how long now, and you go in PriceSmart, there's no signage from Mailpack, for example. There's hardly any marketing, no sponsored ads, no anything on social media. So it's like, it just feels as if
Yet you are here talking about them, and I know exactly what you're talking about them, and I haven't used Mailpack in maybe 15 years. So I know about it, and I see people in the chat asking about the price mart thing. I know about the price mart thing too, and I haven't gone to price mart in a long, long time either.
Yeah.
So I'm saying all of that to say, I'm gonna use one more example. I always try to bring it to simpler things so anybody can get that and get it. You have a child, a 10-month-old child, a 6-month-old child, and then vomit on themselves. That means that you're not going to make them pick which high school they need to go when they're 10? Or when they're 5? You're not going to make them go to school?
No, obviously not, no.
So if you have a 5-year timeline for Mailpack, why are you letting it go in month 3 or 4? Why are you fretting? And you're fretting on a stock that is what? Currently up, what percent, Chris? 60% from IPO in less than a year?
Yeah.
So you're fretting that they're doing well?
Fretting is not the word. It's meeting my expectation.
What are your expectations? You told me expectations is 300% in year 5. By this measure, they're way ahead of your projection. They could pause for a year and do this again and still be on track to meet your expectation. So I think the real problem isn't that there's anything wrong with Mailpack. I think the real problem is that there's something wrong with your expectation. And you know the truth is also, I don't think there's anything wrong with the expectation. Personally, I don't think 300% on Mailpack is a bad deal. In 5 years, I think in 5 years it might be even higher. It might be much higher. It might be 5. But you would be uncomfortable if it stays at $2 up until year 4, right? And then you jump out and you'd miss the jump to $5 in year 5, right? because again, it's not Mailpack that the issue is with them. You quoted a lot of good points for Mailpack. You quoted competition. But if you think about it, the competition has always been there. It's been there for years, right? You knew about the competition for a long time. Mailpack was very popular and it fell in popularity and then it kind of held that kind of strain that is strong. You said they don't have a response to what QuickCart is doing. But my G, they just created a group and listed themselves on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. They did that a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So that is their response. They just got themselves a crap load of money. And now they're starting to gear up. And you're telling me that we have we have everybody on this call knowing about Mailpack. But you just pointed out that there's no signage in these stores. There's no ads. There's no billboards. That sounds to me like the man them not really wasting their money on ineffective marketing. You see how you have to change how you look at a company now?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that Mailpack itself is bad, right? I'm not saying that it's great either. I've seen things from them that I think might be a bit optimistic, but I've also seen them being very clear. You said that they're not rising to the challenge of what? Sometimes when you lead the pack, you can't make everybody else give you trouble, right? To this day, NCD Cap Market does not have a Twitter account. Guess who the biggest broker in Jamaica is also in terms of money?
Yeah.
You see me? It's not the giant can't always make everybody turn them away, and Mailpack in their space has to act like a giant because anybody and them cousin can start a shipping company. In fact, most of our cousins probably have started shipping companies. That's just how it is. Everybody have a shipping company, freight forwarder. Use my Florida address. So imagine if they're going to respond to every single person who is doing that. They can't do it. They have never said that they're the cheapest, but they do try to do what they do the best, is bringing it back to brokerages. I see, you've heard us say on this podcast the very same thing all the time. I talk about Mayberry as a broker. Mayberry is not the cheapest broker, but people love them. When you talk to some people, virgins who use GMMB, them and them will never switch from that because the service is so great. Even when the service is terrible, meaning the actual service is terrible, but the customer care might be good. Or maybe them just like every time you walk in, there's a bunch of hot girls in the office and them feel them can't get through, so they might try something. Or maybe for an older person, them like when them go to office, people give them the attention that them don't get anywhere else. The point is everybody has their thing that works for them. And Mailpack, I think, has shown, and this is my view here externally, I haven't spoken to anybody at a company in a good little while. So they've shown that one, they believe in tech because they've been doing things that everybody else follow afterwards. They believe in longevity. They're taking their time. You are the one who are selling me on them believing in managing their spend heavily, meaning they're managing their ad spend, because you say you don't see all these things in PriceMart, you don't see any billboards, but you know about the service though. You just think it's not going far or fast enough. And I might agree with you if I'm a Mailpack shareholder. Let me see if I'm a Mailpack shareholder today. As a fellow shareholder, I agree with you that they're not moving fast enough for each of us, for our timelines, but we can't fault the man them moving properly, and you're up 60%. So I think that you need to know what is that you want and when you want it and truly believe in it. Because if you truly believe in the 300% in 5 years, you'd be happy that you're at 60% in 4 months, 4 or 5 months, something like that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, to be honest, I was modest about the 300%, but yeah.
Okay, you wanted to. All of a sudden, everybody want to reach bridging.
No, I get this.
Yeah, I'm not my faulty ambition, my lord. I'm not telling nobody to born and try and live poor. It's cool. It's cool to want all the money as quickly as possible. But on the Mailpack point, I'm not going to knock your smaller points though. Yes, they do have competition. Yes, stiff competition. Everybody know about rocket ship also. But the giant is a giant. And I'll tell you this, a point that I like to say to my friends, and I say it for myself too. believe in an industry versus believing in a giant, right? Banking is great, but NCB is still a giant. And NCB didn't have to be a monopoly in order to still be NCB. In fact, some would say that it's better for them to not be a monopoly from their point of view because of what it has allowed them to grow into, right? When them can't hold some shares anymore and they have a bigger play to go, maybe we can lend a competitor some money and make them buy some shares from us, and then we are now free to get something else. And we couldn't do that if we never had a good competitor, or we never had so many competitors that it's actually good for us to speak to some versus others, right?
Yeah.
So I just want you to think in those terms. Competition itself is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, oftentimes competition is gratifying and it's good because it means that there is definitely an industry there, right? If you decide to you go on this, think about this. You decide tomorrow, say, yo, I wear the red pants, you know. You wear the red pants. And everywhere you look, people look at them laughing, but every time you turn around, they look like them stop laugh. And you go work and the same thing happen. And you come home and nobody ever wears red pants to that place or any color pants to that place again. You kind of figure out, say, okay, this is weird, right? But if you wear red pants and tomorrow somebody wear blue and day after that somebody wear red and somebody else come with a different shade of red and red, then you know it worked, right? Because you want to spur the market. Same, I use taxis as the example. If taxis never make money, there wouldn't be so many taxis on the road, you know. The fact that there's so many taxis on the road is proof that taxis make money, and is why it's verification that the biggest taxi or the person who owns the most taxis is making the most money, assuming that they're running the business well. In the same way, if Mailpack was still just them alone out there, no competition, then maybe you'd say, yo, maybe this freight forwarder thing don't really make no sense because look, once you hear somebody do it and nobody not come and join them. But the fact that we have Quick Cart coming now and people are excited, the fact that Rocket Ship is here and Rocket Ship is eating the food of Ship Me, who was eating the food of Mailpack, who was getting them food eaten also by a whole heap of other people. That is an industry. That is proof of actual value. People need the service, so you know that there is actual industry there. So don't make the competition knock you. The competition is verification of it being a good thing. Competition means that, and it's in a new industry where people have to order online and pay online and all of that. It's in a completely new industry, and in that industry, Mailpack are acting like local giants. So shift your perspective, especially as somebody who actually has a 5-year outlook. And if you truly have a 5-year outlook, you can't let go the thing in month 3, my lord. You move shaky.
No, definitely I wasn't considering letting it go. It was just I was contemplating and still contemplating making an even bigger play in it or something else. So that is kind of where I was kind of going with that.
So you want me to boost your confidence in that to see if it's worth the other thing. I'd tell you to tell me the other thing, but I talked to you for more than long enough. So anybody else want to jump in?
All right. Thank you.
Let me bring back up this chat window. Anybody else? Who is this? Hello?
Matthew.
Yes,
Sorry.
Matthew.
Yeah. Quick question. Do you think that the 20 stocks that JSC wanted to list this year will be affected by, or how it will be affected by this COVID scenario? I mean, we've already seen proven suspend. What do you think the outlook will be for the rest of these companies?
Hi, Matthew. Matthew, you try to skip past the introduce yourself part. It's a
Oh,
tax that we
sorry.
all have to pay.
Fine. All right, then I'm Matthew Huey. I'm currently living in Japan as an assistant language teacher. I've been investing for, 3 years now? My first stock was with Cinco. Yeah, I don't know what else I should say.
You know you in Piggles on Twitter?
Yes, I do.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Big up Piggles. Tell him I say hey next time you see him and stay safe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry. You see, that's why you shouldn't diss people in Japan. God.
Mad.
Yeah, I don't know what will happen with the 20 stocks because I don't know what the 20 stocks are. People list for different reasons. For some people, if you have a list, you just have a list. If we have some people have contracts signed long ago, that include in it that you will have to list by X date.
Okay.
Lots of these things have times in them, but I don't know. Literally don't know. But that's like crying over milk that hasn't even spilled yet. You don't even buy it and reach home to the fridge. I like to just look at what's in front of me, and I take that to say that's also, let me see if I can send a whole heap of people to bed. That's also what I think about JPS. All right. So if you are thinking if you should be saving up your money because JPS is coming, and JPS is coming, I can't tell you what to do with your money. Speak to a licensed financial advisor. But I'm not going to be putting down my money for JPS, because think of all the people who put down their money for Transjamaica. And that's not to say that those people are bad, but
Yeah.
eat the food that's in front of you. The JC have 80 odd stocks in terms
No
of
worry about
companies. Right? They have a whole heap of things to invest on in every single day. And some of them are at great prices, and there are plays in others that are actually at great prices, but we won't know that they're at great prices yet. Yeah, so I'm not worried about that. In terms of realistically though, who knows, it might slow some down, it might speed some up. You figure the fire at Fesco might have stopped the Fesco listing.
No, because clearly we see them bounce back right about now.
Yeah, but them always bounce. Everybody bounces back. These days the
Yeah.
bank will lend you money if you cough.
Got you.
Well, maybe not cough, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't say for the 20. It depends. And each company is viewed on their
Different.
own individual thing, yeah. Somebody else was asking something. So I hope I answered your question, Matthew.
You did. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Yeah. Hello?
Evening. This is Jordan South. I'm looking at the thing now. Jordan South?
Jonathan, so.
Jonathan South. Sorry, Jonathan. I'm tired.
Yeah, man, no problem. So in terms of introduction, I'm a content creator. I've been investing for probably a year.
My G, what's a content creator?
Video production, photography. Yeah, basically that. But it's easy to just.
You do what name? Like motion graphics?
No, I don't
Or
do
just
that.
the actual videography and actual photography?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So my question was regarding how to rebalance the portfolio in terms of, let's say I heavily bought a stock before everything fell.
Jonathan, two things. One, I can't go jail for nobody. Jail, I don't know how Cartel is doing it, but I can't. No, and let me help you out. I doubt that you know more about this specific law than I do, and neither of us know more than the FSC or any of those people. That's gonna give me a headache, right? So trust me, don't ask me the heavy question that I know you want to ask me. The second thing, which seems contrary to the first, is this goes a lot easier if you just tell your numbers straightforward and talk about stocks straightforwardly. Instead of trying to find like a stock that kind of matches the situation, but I don't say it so people don't hear. I mean, just talk about specific stocks. Rebalancing portfolios also. You want me to skip your question? Sorry, because it's kind of late. I'm going to skip your question because I get it all the time. What was your goal when you put together the portfolio? You didn't really have one, right? Most people don't. It's just I want to get into stocks. I want to put some money down. I want to get onto this great train, right?
I was just wondering if there was, I just wanted to know if there was a specific thing, for calculation to say, let's say that you're 30% down on this.
I understand, Jordan. Sorry, I keep calling you Jordan. Sorry, I understand, Jonathan. I'm actually, I'm skipping ahead for the question because I'm answering the question that you're actually asking, right? I know, all right, sorry. Tell me if I have it right. Your question here is, I am heavily into 3 stocks and I'm light into maybe 4, right? And my overall portfolio is down double digits, 35% down. And the things that I'm heaviest in are actually the things that are down heavier. Is there a calculation? Is there something I can run on my portfolio, my stocks, in order to see how best to rebalance to get the maximum gains or to get back to 0? Does that make sense?
Partially.
What's the part that I'm missing?
I'm trying to basically say.
All right, tell me. I'll shut up and listen. Sorry.
I want to know when do you know, for you personally, when would you completely sell a stock, or you would go and carry? So let's say I bought NCB, 100,000 NCB. at $1.92. I mean $192. And then it fell down to 152 as it is. And you bought probably $100,000 worth of this. Would you sell or would you try to average down? That's the question I'm asking.
And we get back to my original answer, which is the same answer.
So gold. It's gold based.
Boom. Always.
All right.
Of course, there are
That's
other
it.
things that I look on. There's okay. I mean, yeah, it's goal based. You
All
want
right,
to hear
that's-
more about it? Come to grow when I have it. Look out.
Yeah,
for
man.
the
All right.
email.
Thank you.
What is cool? Anybody else?
Hello? Hi, Randy. What's up? Andrew here.
Who?
Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Question.
Tell the
I
people
always
about
hear-
you, Andrew.
Oh, well, all right. So I'm here, new to this. Just started investing a few months ago.
Mommy,
Working
how long
IT,
ago did I start investing?
long and short of it.
Hold on, Andrew. I think mommy have to answer her first.
My name is Gabrielle. I'm 10 years old and I've been investing for about a year now. sorry.
No. At this point, Andrew food get eat. Go through, Gabriel. Sorry, Andrew.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
So even though you said all of the sectors of the market will bounce back, which sector of the market do you think will take the longest to bounce back?
Jesus, and they say a child shall lead us all.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you at the start of this episode, miss?
I was here during all of it.
Oh, that's good. I'm so sorry for having you up this late. Let me answer very quickly. I think tourism is going to take the longest to that's such a good question. No. It might not be tourism. I want to give you a good answer. I think tourism has the capacity to surprise us. I think we might be discounting how long people are locked inside for in terms of what it means to them. So not in terms of the time being too long, right? But in terms of mentally it is too much and people feel cooped up. And I think there might be, it's almost like your mother lock you in the house for 3 hours. So when you go outside, it's like you go crazy. I think there might be a heavy bit of heavy travel. I think we might discount that. So there might actually be a spring. Now, if this thing lasts 2-3 months, and I might be optimistic there, I think tourism might surprise us. But if tourism surprises us, I'm not sure what else can hurt us, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but if that don't work, you can just say tourism. You're welcome, and thank you for listening.
No problem.
Both of babes.
Oh, wow.
10 years old, damn.
Right?
Keep investing, youngster.
Yes, please keep investing.
Alright.
Sorry, yes. This is Andrew again.
Yeah, man.
Yo.
All right. So my
you have
question
big shoes
was,
to fill, Andrew.
yeah, I mean, after that, right?
Because I didn't even feel like I answered that question properly. That's such a good question.
Yeah, it was.
Like I'm going to think about it for the rest of the night.
It's a really good question though, because as you rightfully say, you have to think about getting released from prison and running up and down.
No, I'd have to think about that. I don't know what you heard. As a question, Andrew, also.
All right. So I always hear you talk about the PE ratio. Are there any other ratios you use? I barely ever hear you talk about like price to book and why you don't use them or talk about them.
Because of how it is that I analyze companies. I look on companies. I look on each company as its own thing. Every single one of them. And I don't go, this is like that. Select M is like select F. I don't do that. Every single one of them, I look at every single report that comes out. I look at every bit of news that I can see about it. And sometimes I don't for a long time. And whenever I have to catch up, when I have to get myself refreshed, I literally go back and check the last few reports. If the last one I saw was 3 quarters ago, I go and check the 4th one and maybe check the year before, and I catch myself up to see what's happening with the company. Why I said that? Sorry, ask the last part of your question again, Andrew.
All right. Why is it that you use PE over PB? Yeah.
PE over PB. Okay, yeah. So how I look at those companies is it means that I have to know what each company actually does, how it functions. I have to have like a mental model in my mind. I have a mental model of how Fontana works, of how Trans Jamaica works, of how Jamaica Teas work, of how Lumber works, of how Key works, blah, blah, blah. You get me?
Yeah, man, understood.
And the majority of the companies on the market are geared around making profit and making intense profit if they can, right?
Mhm.
To me, the PE ratio, as I understand the PE ratio, it is a measure of, well, in plain terms, it is a measure of the current price per share to the earnings per share, right? In other words, it's how much am I willing to pay to get X amount of earnings right now, assuming that I was getting those earnings directly, right? And then I'm going to mix in another concept here. Now, you know how they say that investing is a science and an art? You never heard this before?
Yes, I have.
All right, yeah. So the science part, if we call the science part the ratio, PE, the art part now is what I do with the PE, right? Now, everybody who pays attention to PE ratios is a human being the last time I checked. And those people have a certain set of ways in which they buy. Meaning, oftentimes when a company has a high PE, the market reacts a certain way to it. But it's not just the high PE, because I've found that whenever you look to see what these companies are doing, the ones that have high PEs, there's generally something else behind it, right? And I look at what those things are. Give me an example of a high PE company generally. Anyone?
Yeah, I don't know any out of my head right now.
Okay.
JSC Lab.
Kingston Wolves.
138.
138 has a
Kingston
high
Wolves are
PE.
not 138.
138 doesn't have a high PE. I think somebody just want me to talk about 138 more.
Kingston Wolves. Yeah.
KC Kingston Warfare.
Kingston Wharves has a high PE now, or don't it normalize? PE of 24 times. Trans Jamaica is one. But yeah, that's a good example in terms of something to talk about. But yeah, Kingston Wharves, 23. So you said that's a high PE. 24 times as a high PE. I found that whenever companies have high PEs, the market reacts to them in a certain way. And when you look behind that, second order thing, when you look behind that to see what exactly it is that is leading, that is going on with these companies that have high PEs, you hear people, you realize certain things are happening. Oftentimes it's like junior market companies that just come, people really excited about it, and the share price was right and the demand was right, and boom, 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 it fly, right? And all of a sudden it has a high PE, which means that, you know, people are paying a lot more for less earnings. However, you often realize that a lot of these companies have high earnings potentials, meaning you can't really use the previous PE and judge them, because these guys are making huge increases in profits every quarter, every year, right? So like Lab doubled, it beat its best year ever last year. And in the first quarter results we just saw, again, like half of last year's numbers in one quarter. More than half of last year's numbers in one quarter. The quarter before that, we saw it beating the quarter, same period the year before that, way ahead. So this is a company that is growing, which is why you might be okay with high PEs. So why do I pay attention to PEs? Because on the Jamaican stock market, we have been, over the decades I've been watching it, predictable with this. Over a large scale, exceedingly predictable. Love it, hate it, call it all kind of things, quote Buffett till you're blue. As long as a company make heavy profit consistently, its share price will fly. It is now for the first time that you've seen it drop. Things like NCB falling, but then again, we've never seen the situations that we're seeing now, right? No, having said all that, I still pay attention to PE more because the market pays attention to PE more. If the market were to actually start paying attention to PB, guess what I would start watching?
Press the book.
There we go. And if they start watching the color outside on a rainy day, guess what I would start watching?
Color outside on a rainy day.
Yeah. I look at a whole heap of things, you know. I remember the first time I had to go through DCF just because if these guys know it, I need to know what the hell it is. And this is years ago, and I hated it. And I've bumped up against it time and time and time again over the years, and I had to learn it. When I got to the core of that thing, and I mean, there are a lot of things in the core of that thing, but when you understand the core of it, that is just, I think it was the guy that asked a question 2 questions ago. It is a codified way of getting a more complex answer that your mind is able to get you, which is a very fancy way of saying that at the end of the day, somebody picks a number and it works based on that number. And you can edit what you get at the end by just adjusting a couple of numbers manually. And there's nothing in the process that stops that. You're supposed to actually. Saying all of that to say you use the thing that is most applicable to the market that you're in and the security that you're reviewing, right? So if somebody is a profit chaser, I measure them using profit, their ability to chase profit. If somebody is a long-term dividend payer and they tell you upfront that they want to be a long-term dividend payer, we plan to be around for a very long time. We still want to get profitable and we'll be profitable. We're going to make a low, slow profit for a very long time. And for that, what we need is good debt, stable economy, great base, and high cash. Then I judge them based on their ability to have a good base, steady economy, great base, and high cash. A great example is QWI, who I still personally look at from a PE basis, but the entire market watches for QWI from a book value basis. And so I watch it also from a book value basis because that's what the market pays attention to. I pay attention to what the market pays attention to. And so I pay attention to PE because the market moves predictably with PEs. You don't believe me? Check your calendar for 2 years from now and check NCV's share price.
Okay.
Check JMB's share price in 6 months. Yeah, so the market has to personally not like you or have something else happening for them to ignore straight profit. But you make straight heavy profit hitting that bottom line quarter after quarter, year after year with high cash on the books. Oh God, them love you. And then you pay a dividend on top of that. Oh God, them love you. They'll go to bed for you. Trust me. Well, don't trust me. Trust Uncle Michael Leachin.
All right, respect.
No problem. I'm going to take, I don't want to, O Johnson. Hello. Oh, no, it's okay. Don't wake up Gabriel again. Gabriel, go to her bed,
Hello?
please. No, it's okay, Gabriel. Sorry, I never meant to call you. I didn't realize it was still yours. No problem. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. Somebody else was saying something?
Hey, Randy, what's up?
Hello, Diane?
Yeah,
Diane?
Yeah,
Which is it?
it's, well, if you're going to be correct in terms of origin, it would be Diane from a accuracy perspective. But as you know, in our country, nobody ever gets their name pronounced right. So I've grown up and had everybody say Diane. So it doesn't really matter. I answer to both.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. So
That's okay.
I said Diane. What's up,
That's
Diane? What's
all
your
right.
question?
Well, one, a question, and two, an observation. In some of my discussions with and watching certain things on the market, I and this is not related to just the COVID-19 era, just generally speaking. And I think I'd asked you this sometime in the past too. I've never really heard any of your hosts or guests, in your 31 episodes mention VMIL. And it kind of strikes me as very particular because it's a unique stock in the market. One and two, I like it a lot because I like the company and the stock in terms of the stability of the stock since it has IPO. But I've never really heard anybody say anything. And the only person who has really said anything to me about it is in a conversation with a key person at Sagicor. They said the comment was this: I wish you could buy the whole company instead of just buying the stock in pieces. And, that was the first time I was actually hearing somebody say they actually share some sentiment as to the possibility of this being a great stock over the next 3 to 5 years. But during your shows, I've listened to hear more about it and to hear people comment on it and to see if it was just a view that I alone have. But, I've never heard anything. So I'd love to get your take on that one. And number two,
God damn.
number
It's 3 o'clock in my lord.
yeah, man. Yeah, I know. But it's I
Go through. Let me hear it. Please.
Yeah. The other thing is there are two stocks. One that sank very low, at least I think in terms of price fall off, was one of the greatest price fall offs in the market in the last couple of weeks, was at Indus Pharma. And Indus then rebounded to close the week at $2.45 or 2.43. I'm not sure exactly where, but somewhere in the 2.40s, I think. Coming back from a place of $1.25. And it's a company that has no debt, basically, virtually debt-free, virtually very profitable. I know they're small, and the number of shares on the market is only about 10% of the company. But I for the first time noticed that a lot of persons were chasing Indus in the last couple of days, and I'm not sure if it's because of the news surrounding their purchase of the land to build the business park. But if you really follow Indus, they have always been very, very stable. They're run by a husband and wife team, and there are people that I know personally, but outside of that in terms of leadership, which is one of the things I always look at in a company. If I have confidence in who runs the company, then it makes me even more confident than just the average feeling or calculation or ratio or whatever. I believe in people, and for this company particularly, I knowing the persons behind it and how serious they are about their business, I'm a little surprised that it has lagged on the market for such a long time without any real energy behind it, meaning you don't see a lot of trades of the stock. Even though it may have a great price, $3, $2.90, $2.80 on an average day, the volumes are very, very low. I'd love to, that and jam teas as well. So I'd love to hear why some companies that are really good in your opinion, as I said, for example, Indies with known debt as a great example, why persons are so afraid of trading those. Is it because they are not quote unquote sexy, if you want to use that kind of a word, in appearance, or is it something else? I think I'll stop there for now.
I don't know what to say. I think you just wanted to tell us about 3 companies that you really like. I mean, they sound cool.
Someone asked the question, bro, because I don't know what you're asking.
No, this question was at the end, which is why nobody don't really talk about those companies. There's so many things there, Dan. I think I can just call this one a night. I'll answer the epistle. I call it a night. First of all, what makes VM a unique company? This is me asking you. What you said VM was unique. Why is it unique? Diane? Or did he fall asleep? Oh, well.
No, I think he said his headphones died, something like that.
His headphones.
Just
Okay.
headphones just died, as you said. I don't know what to say.
Okay. Well, I need you to answer the question, Diane. I was asking you what makes VM a unique company.
But
Just give me 1 second. I'm turning on another set of headphones. Give
Oh,
me
I thought he was gonna say like
10
you turn on
seconds,
your
I'll be
computer.
over.
'Cause that would have scared me.
Yeah, man, the man vexed with me, man, not getting no love.
Yeah,
Funny.
I'm here. Yeah, man, I'm back. Sorry about that a while ago.
Yeah, Dan, I just want to know what makes you said it's a you said it's a you said it's a company, a unique company. What makes it unique?
Which one?
VMBS. VMIL, sorry.
Oh, well, let me, okay, from,
In 2 paragraphs or less.
yeah. First paragraph is that most people misunderstand the stock.
No, man, I don't misunderstand the stock. I want you to don't tell me what we
No.
don't.
You asked me why I say it's unique, and I said it's misunderstood by the average person on the road. Meaning, when people think VMIL, they're thinking VMBS.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, when you mention that to somebody, you know, it's a lot. I know persons personally who have bought the stock thinking they're buying a apartment. And not realizing it's a investment vehicle that VM owns.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's the first thing that though I say it's unique. It's almost like it's almost like people view it like a Scotiabank or a NCB or a Sagicor as a financial entity, but not as a portfolio. Right. Not as a portfolio like a MJE or a QWI or a
Let me help you with with all of your questions, all of your problems. What moves stock prices? Why do stock prices move?
People feelings. Mostly.
There we go. I like that. That's linked to it. I like that one. That's a better answer than fundamentals. So you know that is people's feelings. But why do you think? Have you listened to all our episodes?
Maybe, if not all, 99%. I may have fallen asleep once or twice because I started listening very late, but usually I listen to everything as I have done for tonight.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. We've spoken about VM. We may have edited some out. I mean, but you said that VM hasn't moved. Hasn't VM's share price skyrocketed?
Well, it was what has happened now. What's happening now?
It's a yes or no question. Last year, January 1 versus the price now, including any splits, etc., etc.
Well, it went up to $13.50 because there was an aggressive pursuit on the market from $9.
There was a what?
There was a lot of trading of the stock.
No, and I want you to say that exact term again.
Which one? About the aggressive move, the aggressive purchasing?
Oh, that's what you said. Okay, I thought you said something about the Q.
Oh, no. I was saying last year it trended up to about 13.50. Or actually this year in January it trended up to 13.50 coming from $9. But when you look at the graph of EMI, it IPOs and then it goes up almost vertically, then levels out for a long time again, then goes up, levels out again. And when it went up this time in January, it's the first time it's actually going up rapidly and not leveling out, but then trending back downwards. And that was part of, I think, the time that Sagicor was making some additional buys in the market of VM. I guess with that plus with the heavy profits coming and the plans for carry lend and so forth, made that little window.
You sound to me like you're listing all the things that you'd like it to sound good, but it's not about listing the things. It's about
no, man, it sounds good for me But I don't know why for others it's not something they talk about or they look at or they say, oh, my portfolio is 50% this or 30% that. It's almost like a opportunity stock, meaning buy and sell, a quick trade thing, but not a long play for some other persons who are not IPO purchasers. Persons who have it from IPO still keep it because it's part of your portfolio. But if you ask them about, have you bought any more since IPO, you're likely to get a no on that answer.
Have you bought any since IPO?
I didn't buy at IPO, I bought after IPO. I bought up to last month.
Okay, so let me get this straight. This stock, when it IPO, remind me.
About 2 years.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, somewhere around
or
there.
2017. It might have been before.
Yeah.
It moved from an average of $4 odd, $3 odd, $4 odd.
One cycle straight up to $8.
Yeah, and it jumped all the way up to $8. It gave everybody, it gave those people 100%. Boom.
Yeah.
It trended all the way, as you said, in January of this year, all the way up to 1186. January 20th, right? And it looked like it was finding a new normal somewhere around
No, man, it went up to $13 as well, man.
Yeah, that's intraday, but I'm talking about just closing. So,
okay.
So $9 or $10 after it was finding a level, and it's found a level at around February 24th, where something happened.
Well, yeah.
A dividend payment was made.
Yes.
So I guess X date passed. So there's a usual dividend drop off. So these people would have gotten a dividend payment for a start that was
jump out.
Cool, but where did they jump out at? $6.95. A year ago it was at 3 odd or 4 odd. It's at $6.95 now, and it's so good that you think that you like it very much.
Well,
and obviously it's trading. That's why
the
it's heavily traded. Look at the trading. Look at the volume on it. It trades all the time. I'm not here to preach a stock about whether or not it's good enough. It's obvious that it's good because the share price has performed. I mean, if you want the stock, go up more, my lord, buy more. Buy it at higher prices. You're one of those people who think that my voice carries weight in the market and I can move the share prices. So let me get him to talk
No.
You give me 20 minutes of why the other stocks are good. Like you go through all of them. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Nobody's buying stocks right now in the market that aren't either obvious wins.
Yeah.
Or
but you know what I think. All right. It's not that I want the price to go up because I want to keep buying it at the price it is at now, at least for another 3 months or so.
So why you come on the show and ask about it then? And you said even we never said nothing about
it. Okay, enough said on that one then.
No, I'm not hinting at buying it or anything. I don't. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about that for the moves. But I'm just saying, if you think it's good, brethren, and you truly believe it's good, buy it. Skin in the game.
Yeah, it's just I don't. You know what? I'm kind of like a gut feeling kind of a person.
No, you're not, because listen to all the things that you just told me.
Yeah, but there are things that form the gut feeling. So you have to.
Yeah. You never hear what I told Chris from you earlier. You saw this thing going on? It start with the feeling and then we solidify it. You're not doing anything wrong. So your complaint, here's what your complaint sounds like to me at 3 a.m. Yo, this stock look like it's primed to go up, you know. I don't understand. This stock look like it's primed to go up. You know the next thing you're going to say to me? Yo, the stock went up. And you've seen it do it twice. It obviously spikes on news and you've named like 3 things that they've done that is going to pay out in a little while. As long as it pay out after we're kind of over, or we're just used to the coronavirus thing, the money have to go somewhere.
Well, true. True. I hear you.
Yeah.
And
your complaint literally to me is, yo, Randy, I'm sorry, I'm ahead of the curve. I'm sorry. You want me to tell you, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, thanks. But I wasn't looking at it from that angle. There's a part of me that has a concern that persons don't. Well, maybe I'm too concerned about what persons are thinking. So maybe I need to filter that part out. Probably that is it.
The local market is slow. Get used to that. Slow.
Yeah.
Take long. take long to react to things. People have to hear them, friend tell them, friend them, sure, yeah, sure. Money man here, all right, my call is, I can call is broke on Friday. Forget it Friday, Monday morning, forget next week. If I get the market is slow, it take a long time before you see the effect of things.
That is true.
NCB announced Guardian, and people like me sit down and wait must 2 years for the price to move any amount.
Okay.
Yeah. And look where it is now. Now we're quarreling about whether or not it's worth it at 150. Because it dropped to 150. There was a time where 150 was the goal from 160 and when I was going from 60 and $70. So you can't allow the fact that you are seeing the effect of the market to be something you complain about. I used to do the same thing and I still complain in some things, but other times I just profit from it. Yeah, the market moves slowly. Everybody will love VML in 6 months, 8 months, and then it will jump again to $20 and you'll be like, oh God. JMB is below its APO price right now.
Yeah.
What is there to say to that? And JMB is bigger than it has ever been in its entire life. And it's about to get its biggest one-time payment in Canadian dollars or US dollars, I think, sent directly into their country right now in the middle of this coronavirus where people need cash on hand. JMB is about to get that and the price is below its APO price. What you want me to say about that other than every day a little bit must get bought? Have you checked those numbers? There have been millions in JMB shares traded on the market over the last since December 12th.
I watch every single day. I review every report every day, so I kind of, and those financials are stocks that I look at. Even if I'm not buying them, I just look at them.
There we go. That's exactly. I know it. I have the same book. That's why I'm up at this time of morning talking to you guys instead of going to my bed, which I'm going to do soon. But yeah, I
before
understand.
you go, ring the bell on the comment.
Ring the bell. Watch that these days.
In terms of companies that do well, but they're I know somebody in the notes said I'm answering my own question, I guess in reference to the amount of shares available. But I mean, there are a few companies that when you look at them, generally they appear very stable and what they're invested in, what they're doing is profitable and stable, but they still don't see, and the share price is not.
Which company? Just tell me the company. I'm tired. Just tell me the company. I watch the whole market.
As I said, look at Indies. I have a
What's Indies profit like?
Okay, well, they had some balance sheet write-offs this year, so I think they were
there we go.
money this year, but still profitable.
And their PE ratio is not that great.
That too.
Yeah, so that's the reality of it.
As planned in terms of works that they're putting
this
in.
Market, Brett, is not me at the market. I just see it and I know it well, but it's not me at the market. The market don't work that way, even though they talk that way. But as you are seeing, they're not going out and buying it. Yeah, in this, but of course they could come with something big in a rush and boom. Suppose Indies is the one selling mass.
Well, they if you read their reports last year and this year, they realize that they are actually opening a PPE and medical supplies division. So
I'm aware, but not now. When did they say?
This is from in last year. Their plans for this from last year.
When was it to open?
In 2020.
Yeah, but 2020 is a long year, my G. We're in the first year of 2020 right now, and April just start.
Right, first quarter, right? But that's what I'm saying. You're not seeing
No. You're not hearing what I just asked you. When did they say they're going to start doing that?
They're starting their new sales channels in 2020. I don't have a month.
You need to find a month. Welcome to the edge. You actually know how I hear you talking a lot about the things that I know that you have to look for. Actually follow up on them. Yeah, when? 2020 long. You need to know exactly when they do it. Suppose it was January. Suppose they got their first shipment in January. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine they got the biggest first shipment to start off the factory right before coronavirus?
That is true.
I don't know if it would be great, but maybe it didn't happen, right?
You're right.
How do you think the AMG people feel seeing people in Price Smart piling up tissue, knowing that them just locked them tissue factory.
Very good, but you see, going back to Indies again, the NHF contract was not announced on their books last year. It will be on their books this year. So again, the delay that would have affected last year's profits. It doesn't mean that you don't buy the stock. You know what I mean?
And again,
Like,
I'm saying to you,
the timing is always the issue. You're saying
you sound to me like somebody who is complaining about realizing that they have found a gem early. You're complaining to me about the things that I talk to Danai about. You get me? You're complaining to me that you have made money early. That you have, oh, this thing is going to be great. You're literally complaining that the market is undervaluing stocks. Yes, just put your money against it if you truly believe it.
No, man, that's what I do. That's what I do.
And has it been working?
Yeah, so far I'm good.
What's I'm good? Give me a percentage.
Which one?
Your portfolio.
Oh, overall, no. Down maybe about 15 total.
Down how much? 50%?
No, 15. 5%. Yeah, man.
This is over what time?
Well, I have portfolio. Let me put a disclaimer out there. I've been buying for 8 years, so it's hard to say. But I started a new portfolio August 13th last year, and that is a more, what would I call, a more dynamic trading portfolio, and that is slightly by 15%. I'm not really selling anything. I'm just buying, and I don't watch daily prices on some of the stocks that I'm buying. I just buy them for whatever it's being sold at, because I have a long play on those. But overall, I would say I am up over 8 years, maybe about 400%. Yeah. Started out doing a lot of Scotiabank, bought Scotia at $20.72 or $20.70 or somewhere around there as my first purchase 8 years ago. I just kept going in that kind of like a steady dividends train. But since last year, I decided to kind of get a little bit more aggressive. I'm getting older, so I have increased income and less time left on this earth. And I'd like to kind of be a little bit more aggressive. So I'm taking risks now when probably a financial advisor would tell me to take that risk, 10 years ago or so. So basically,
I know. You sold like me to me. You sold like me a couple of years ago to me.
Yeah. So
you're complaining about, like, why aren't they seeing this? It's so obvious, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just curious that.
No, you are. It's weird. It's weird.
Gains, not really.
Picking up where the gains are. It's weird, right?
Yeah. Like last week, I told someone to buy mail pack at 164, and
let me help you. Stop telling people what to buy. Let me give you a tip that I should have learned earlier. Don't bother tell people.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to know when or why or how, and they're not going to remember.
Yeah.
I say,
yeah, the 110 grand to flip, and I say, yo, buy if you want some picks here.
Jeez, you God.
Why?
Oh God, that's a hard lesson to learn, my friend. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Not gonna work. And I sent him a note Friday and say, hey, check the price on Mailpack, because Mailpack was up like $1.90.
Jesus Christ! Stop! Don't do this.
Alone, you could have made that, But so it go.
So it go for them, but don't do that though. I can tell you, don't do that. Don't do it. It's going to end badly for you, because you're watching it so hard and you are able to pay attention more, and you're developing an innate feel of the market, so you can tell very quickly what will happen and when. You are naturally going to start adjusting for things, jumping in or jumping out of something very quickly. And you are not going to remember to go and tell your brethren, say, yo, the thing I was talking about last week, I jump out of it already.
Yeah.
Or you jump in something for 30% and him jump in with you and it went up 60%. And you're like, damn. And you jump out. But him, you know what him say? No, this has gone up 60%. I love it. Suppose it can go up 60 more.
Yeah, well, it goes back to the principal rule. It's three steps. Set a time, set a target, and then step 3 is to repeat 1 and 2.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. But I'm telling you, the tell you brethren thing is a headache waiting to happen. Trust me.
Yeah. I agree. I always put a disclaimer that I'm not.
How do you know what is going to move though? I mean, ask you the question people ask me all the time.
At the end of the day, you can't truly know.
I know that, but how do you know? How do you know? What's your method?
I read a lot.
No, as in, what's your actual method? What's your actual method?
Yeah, and I'm telling you.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
I start by reading. So,
no, I get you.
For example, if a company, I don't watch the ratios first at all.
Oh, I understand. Sorry, no, you can stop. You can stop.
Yeah.
You can stop. I get you. I know exactly what you do. You do the right thing. You look at what they do for money.
Yeah, and I look at who runs the company.
There we go. You can do exactly what I do. Jesus Christ, thank you. I am really happy that I thank you. Diane 876.
Yeah.
Good God. You're good. Yeah. Wow. there's more of us out there.
Take a little more time, but
no, I'm well aware of how much time it takes, Diane. I know exactly how much time it takes.
Spirit.
What?
So you found that kindred spirit.
That kindred spirit, I found somebody who sounds like they can do what I do. I don't find that a lot. I've only found one, don't I? Anyway, Diane. Well, God, maybe it's a D-name thing.
No problem.
It's nice meeting you guys. Thank you for staying
good,
for this whole thing. 38 people stuck it out until this time of morning. Good God. Thank you guys. I really hope the episode is good. You'll hear it when it comes out, and thank you for participating. I'm going to end this now.
All right,
All right, guys. Night.
Big up.
Whatever you do right now, don't you stop.